Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the starship Starward Hope, watching the endless black of space through the main window. Stars dotted the darkness like tiny diamonds scattered on black cloth. He had been exploring space for 15 years, but the sight still took his breath away. "Captain, we're getting strange readings on the scanner," said Lieutenant Ryan Carter from his station. His young face looked worried as he stared at the green lights dancing across his screen. Jake walked over to look at the data. The numbers made no sense. Something big was moving toward them, but it wasn't like any ship they had seen before. The computer couldn't identify what it was. "How long until it reaches us?" Jake asked. "Maybe 20 minutes, sir," Ryan replied. His fingers moved quickly over the controls, trying to get more information. Jake felt his stomach tighten. They were far from Earth, near the outer colonies where few ships traveled. The Starward Hope was an exploration vessel, not a warship. They had some weapons, but nothing compared to a real military ship. "Wake everyone up," Jake ordered. "Get them to the safe areas of the ship." The Starward Hope carried 53 people. Most were scientists and researchers studying new planets. Some were families moving to the outer colonies to start new lives. Jake thought about Dr. Lisa Bennett and her little daughter Amy. The 3-year-old girl had been running around the ship for the past week, making everyone smile with her bright laugh. "Captain," called Commander Kate Sullivan from the communications station, "I'm trying to contact the unknown ship, but they're not responding to any of our signals." Jake nodded. This was not good. In space, ships always talk to each other. When someone didn't answer, it usually meant trouble. The unknown ship appeared on their main screen 15 minutes later. Jake had never seen anything like it. The vessel looked like it was made of glass or crystal. Light moved through it in strange patterns, creating colors that hurt to look at directly. It was 3 times bigger than the Starward Hope. "They're scanning us," Ryan reported. "Some kind of energy beam is looking at our ship." Suddenly, the crystal ship moved closer. It came so fast that Jake barely had time to react. "All hands prepare for possible attack," he announced over the ship's speaker system. The crystal ship stopped right in front of them. For a moment, nothing happened. Then sounds started coming from it. Not words or signals, but music. Strange, beautiful music that seemed to come from inside the crystal itself. "Are they trying to communicate?" Kate asked. "Maybe," Jake said. "Try sending them some of our music back." Kate pressed buttons on her control panel. She sent them a recording of a human orchestra playing classical music. The response was immediate and terrible. The crystal ship's music became loud and angry. The sound hit the Starward Hope like a physical force. Windows cracked. People screamed as the noise hurt their ears. The ship shook like it was being torn apart. "Cut the music!" Jake shouted. Kate's hands flew over the controls, but it was too late. The crystal ship fired some kind of weapon. A beam of pure sound hit their engines. Sparks flew from control panels. All over the bridge. "We're losing power," Ryan called out. "The engines are shutting down." The artificial gravity failed. Jake felt his feet leave the floor as he started floating in the air. Emergency lights came on, bathing everything in red. The ship's computer voice announced damage to multiple systems. Through the chaos, Jake heard something that made him stop. It was a small voice singing. A child's voice, sweet and clear, cutting through all the noise and fear. "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray." It was little Amy Bennett. Somewhere on the ship, the 3-year-old girl was singing her favorite song. She probably didn't understand what was happening. To her, it was just another adventure. The crystal ship's angry music suddenly stopped. Jake grabbed a handrail to steady himself in the zero gravity. He looked at the main screen. The alien vessel had gone completely quiet. Its lights stopped flashing. It just sat there in space, perfectly still. "What happened?" Kate asked, floating near her station. "I think they heard the little girl singing," Jake said quietly. Before anyone could respond, new sounds came from the crystal ship. But these were different. Gentle sounds, almost like the ship was humming along with Amy's song. "Captain," Ryan sighed, his voice full of surprise. "They're not attacking anymore. The weapon systems on their ship have powered down." Jake tried to understand what was happening. The aliens had attacked when they heard human music, but when they heard a child singing, they stopped. What did that mean? "Sir," Kate said, pointing at her screen. "They're sending us a signal now. It's not words, but it's definitely a message." "Can you figure out what they're saying?" "I think they want to come aboard our ship." Jake felt cold fear run through his body. Aliens wanting to board their ship was never good news. But they had no choice. The Starward Hope was badly damaged. The engines were dead. They couldn't run even if they wanted to. "Let them know we agree," Jake said. "But tell them to come slowly. No sudden moves." Part of the crystal ship broke away and flew toward them. As it got closer, Jake could see movement inside it. The aliens were coming. He thought about Amy Bennett and all the other innocent people on his ship. Whatever these crystal beings wanted, he would have to find a way to protect his crew and passengers. The little girl's song had stopped their attack, but Jake knew this was just the beginning. The aliens were coming aboard, and nothing would ever be the same. Jake activated the ship's internal communication system. "All crew and passengers remain in safe areas. We are about to have visitors. Stay calm and follow all safety procedures." He looked out at the stars one more time. When he had started this mission, he thought they would just be exploring empty space and distant planets. He never imagined they would be the first humans to meet an alien race. The crystal ship's shuttle attached to their docking bay with a sound like singing glass. Jake took a deep breath and prepared to meet beings from another world, hoping that a little girl's innocent song had somehow saved them all. The crystal shuttle docked with the Starward Hope with a sound like singing glass. Captain Jake Morrison stood in the airlock with Lieutenant Ryan Carter and 3 security officers, watching as the alien door slowly opened. The first being to step through was unlike anything Jake had ever seen. It stood nearly 8 feet tall and looked like it was carved from living crystal. Light moved through its transparent body in slow, beautiful patterns. When it moved, it made soft musical sounds like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "I am Elder Zixthren," the crystal being said. Its voice was deep and resonated through the ship's walls. "We come seeking the source of the pure harmony." Jake stepped forward carefully. "I'm Captain Morrison. Welcome to our ship. What do you mean by pure harmony?" The alien's lights flickered in what might have been confusion. "You sent us war songs through your metal vessel. Harsh sounds meant to cause pain. But then we heard something else. Something perfect and untouched." "We didn't mean to attack you with music," Jake said quickly. "We were trying to communicate. The music that hurt you was an accident." Elder Zixthron tilted his crystal head. "Then you did not create the pure harmony on purpose?" "I'm not sure what you heard," Jake replied honestly. Before the alien could answer, a small voice echoed through the ship's corridors. It was Amy Bennett, singing somewhere in the distance. Her sweet voice carried the simple melody of "You Are My Sunshine" through the metal hallways. The moment Amy's song reached them, Elder Zixthron's entire body began to glow brighter. The light patterns inside him moved faster, creating colors Jake had never seen before. The other crystal beings behind him started humming softly, along with the little girl's voice. "That," Zixthron whispered with something like wonder, "that is the pure harmony we seek." Jake felt his stomach drop. The aliens wanted Amy. This was exactly what he had been afraid of. The voice belongs to a child, Jake said carefully. A very young human child. Child? The alien repeated the word slowly. We do not understand this concept. Ryan Carter spoke up from behind Jake. She's only 3 years old. In human terms, that means she's just beginning to learn about the world. The crystal being's lights pulsed in confusion. 3 rotations of your planet? This means nothing to us. We emerge from our crystal matrices fully formed and aware. Amy's voice grew louder as she came closer to the airlock. She was singing a different song now, something about twinkle stars, and her mother could be heard gently correcting the words. The source of pure harmony approaches, Elder Zixthron announced. To his companions. She's not a source, Jake said firmly. She's a little girl who likes to sing. Dr. Lisa Bennett appeared around the corner, holding Amy's hand. The 3-year-old was wearing her favorite pink dress and carrying a small stuffed rabbit. When she saw the tall crystal beings, her eyes went wide with curiosity instead of fear. Mommy, look at the pretty rocks, Amy said in her clear, happy voice. They're all sparkly and shiny. Elder Zixthron stepped closer, and Jake tensed, ready to protect the child. But the alien moved slowly and gently, kneeling down so he was closer to Amy's height. Greetings, small being, Zixthron said softly. You create the most beautiful sounds we have ever heard. Amy tilted her head, studying the crystal alien with the fearless curiosity that only small children possess. You talk funny, but I like your voice. It sounds like the music box Grandma gave me. She looked up at her mother. Mommy, can I pet the singing rock? Lisa's face was pale with worry, but she knelt down beside her daughter. Amy, these are visitors from very far away. We need to be very polite to them. Okay, Mommy. Amy turned back to Elder Zixthron. Hello, Mr. Singing Rock. I'm Amy. Do you want to hear more songs? Before anyone could stop her, Amy began to sing again. This time it was Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and her pure, innocent voice filled the airlock. The effect on the crystal beings was immediate and powerful. All of them began to glow brighter, their lights pulsing in rhythm with Amy's simple melody. They started humming along, creating harmonies that made the air itself seem to shimmer. Jake watched in amazement as tough security officers wiped tears from their eyes. The combination of Amy's innocent voice and the alien's crystal harmonies was the most beautiful sound any of them had ever heard. When Amy finished the song, she clapped her hands together happily. Did you like it? I know lots more songs. Elder Zixthron was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was softer than before. Small being ... Amy. You have given us something we did not know existed. What's that? Amy asked, bouncing on her toes. Beauty without purpose. Sound created not for communication or war, but simply because it brings joy. Amy giggled. Singing is fun. Mommy taught me that song. She knows lots of good ones. The alien elder looked at Lisa with what might have been respect. You are the creator of this small being? I'm her mother, Lisa said carefully. Amy is my daughter. Mother, daughter. Zixthron repeated the words like he was trying to understand their meaning. These concepts are unknown to our people. Amy is part of me, Lisa explained simply. I love her and protect her. She learns from me, and I learn from her. The other crystal beings stepped forward and made musical sounds that seemed urgent. Elder Zixthron's lights flickered as he listened. My companions say we must bring the small being to our people, Zixthron announced. They believe she can teach our entire civilization about this thing you call joy. No, Jake said immediately. Amy stays with her family. But she possesses a gift our people have searched for across 1,000 worlds, the alien insisted. Surely she belongs with those who can appreciate her true value. Amy tugged on Elder Zixthren's crystal arm. Mr. Singing Rock, are you trying to take me away from Mommy? The alien looked down at the little girl, and something in his expression seemed to soften. Would that cause you distress, small Amy? I would be very sad, Amy said seriously. I love Mommy, and Daddy is waiting for us at the new planet. He would miss me too. For the first time since boarding the ship, Elder Zixthron seemed uncertain. We do not wish to cause you sadness, but our people need what you can teach them. Amy thought about this with the serious consideration that children sometimes bring to important questions. Can't I teach your people and still stay with Mommy? How would this be possible? The alien asked. Amy shrugged, the simple gesture of a child who sees solutions where adults see only problems. We could be friends. Friends visit each other and share nice things. Jake saw an opportunity. Elder Zixthren, perhaps we could find a way for Amy to share her gift without taking her from her family. The crystal being stood slowly, his lights pulsing in thoughtful patterns. This concept of friendship, it is also unknown to us. You would share your greatest treasure freely? Amy isn't a treasure, Lisa said gently. She's a little girl who loves to sing, and yes, she shares her songs with anyone who wants to hear them. Amy smiled up at the tall alien. Want to hear another song, Mr. Singing Rock? Captain Jake Morrison sat across from Elder Zixthren in the ship's main meeting room. The crystal alien was twice as tall as any human, with light moving through his body like liquid starlight. When he spoke, his voice sounded like wind chimes. In a gentle breeze, the small human must come with us, Zixthran said for the third time. She possesses the pure harmony our people have searched for across 1,000 worlds. Dr. Lisa Bennett held her daughter Amy closer. The little girl was playing with a small toy spaceship, making quiet whooshing sounds as she flew it through the air. She had no idea that her future was being decided in this room. Amy is not property, Jake said firmly. She's a child. She belongs with her mother. The crystal alien's lights flickered in what Jake had learned meant confusion. Child? We do not understand this concept. The small human creates perfect sound. She must teach our people. You can't just take someone's daughter, Lisa said, her voice shaking with fear and anger. She's only 3 years old. She doesn't even understand what you want from her. Zixthrin tilted his head. Light pulsed through his crystal body in slow waves. 3 rotations. This means nothing to us. The small human has the gift. She must share it. Jake looked at Lieutenant Ryan Carter, who stood near the door. They had talked before this meeting. Ryan had an idea, but it was risky. Very risky. Elder Zixthren, Jake said carefully. What if we could find another way? What if Amy could teach her people without leaving her family? How is this possible? The alien asked Dot before Jake could answer. Amy looked up from her toy and smiled at the tall crystal being. Are you my singing rock friend? She asked in her sweet voice. Zixthrane's entire body began to glow brighter. The other crystal aliens in the room started humming softly. Jake had noticed this happened every time Amy spoke to them. Yes, small human, Zixthran said, his voice gentler than before. We are your singing rock friends. Amy giggled and held up her toy spaceship. Do you want to play with my rocket? It goes zoom zoom through the stars. The alien elder leaned down to look at the toy. As he did, something strange happened. His harsh crystal features seemed to soften somehow. The light inside him changed color, becoming warmer and brighter. Play? He repeated the word slowly, like he was tasting something new. Amy loves to play, Lisa said quietly. She finds joy in simple things. That's what children do. Joy, Zixthrin whispered. We have no word for this in our language. Jake saw his chance. That's exactly why you can't take her away from us. Amy's gift isn't just her voice. It's her happiness, her innocence, her love for her family. Take her away from that, and you might destroy the very thing you want to learn. The alien elder was quiet for a long moment. Around the room, the other crystal beings hummed softly to each other. Jake realized they were talking, using their musical language to discuss what he had said. Amy stood up and walked over to Zixthran. She was so small that she only reached the alien's knee. "Why do you look sad, singing rock?" "Sad?" the elder asked. "Your lights are all dim and slow," Amy said. "When I'm sad, Mommy sings to me. Do you want me to sing to you?" Before anyone could stop her, Amy began to sing softly. "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray." The effect on the aliens was immediate and powerful. All their lights began to pulse in rhythm with Amy's song. Their humming joined her voice, creating harmonies that made the air itself seem to shimmer. Jake felt tears in his eyes. He had heard Amy sing many times during their journey, but with the alien harmonies added, the simple song became something magical. When Amy finished, Zixthrin knelt down to her level. "Small human," he said softly, "you have given us something we did not know existed." "What's that?" Amy asked, tilting her head curiously. "Wonder," the alien replied. "The feeling of discovering something beautiful for the first time." Lisa stepped forward. "Elder Zixthrin, Amy can teach your people, but she needs to stay with her family. She needs to remain a child, free to play and laugh and discover the world. That's where her gift comes from." The crystal alien looked at Amy, then at Lisa, then at Jake. "Your words contain wisdom we have not considered, but our people will not understand. They expect us to return with the small human. Then we'll have to convince them," Jake said. "Together." Ryan Carter stepped forward. "Captain, if I may suggest." "Something?" Jake nodded. "What if we could broadcast Amy's songs to the Kethvar homeworld? Using our communication array and their harmony technology, we could share her gift with their entire civilization." Zixthron's lights flashed brightly. "This is possible. Our ships can amplify and transmit pure harmony across vast distances." "Amy could teach millions of your people at once," Jake added, "but only if she stays happy and free." Amy tugged on Zixthrain's crystal arm. "Will all your singing rock friends learn my songs?" "Yes, small human, if you are willing to teach them." Amy clapped her hands together. "That sounds fun. Can I teach them about rockets too? And flowers? And ice cream?" The alien elder made a sound that might have been laughter. "We would be honored to learn about all these things." Jake felt relief wash over him. They had found a solution that might work for everyone. But he knew this was just the beginning. Getting the other Kethvar to accept this arrangement would be much harder. "There is one problem," Zixthran said, his voice becoming serious again. "War singer Valanash leads the traditional faction of our people. He believes that outside influences corrupt our pure harmony. When he learns what has happened here, he will try to stop us." "Will he attack?" Jake asked. "Perhaps. He commands many ships and many warriors. He sees any change to our ways as a threat." Amy looked up at the adults with wide, innocent eyes. "Is someone going to be mean to my singing rock friends?" "We won't let that happen," Jake promised her. But even as he said it, he wondered if they would be able to keep that promise. The crystal alien elder stood up slowly. "We must prepare for what is coming. War singer Valanash will arrive soon. When he does, everything will change." Jake looked out the window at the stars, knowing that somewhere out there, more alien ships were heading their way. Amy continued playing with her toy rocket, humming softly to herself, unaware that she had become the center of an approaching storm. The alarm bells screamed through the Starward Hope as massive shapes appeared on the scanner. Captain Jake Morrison rushed to the bridge, where Lieutenant Ryan Carter was staring at readings that made his face go pale. "Captain, we have 12. Kethfor warships coming our way," Ryan reported. "They're 3 times bigger than Elder Zixthran's vessel." Jake looked at the main screen. The new ships were different from the Elder's crystal vessel. These were darker, with sharp edges and angry red lights pulsing through their bodies. They moved like hunters stalking prey. "How long until they reach us?" Jake asked. 6 minutes, sir." Elder Zixthran appeared on the bridge, moving faster than Jake had ever seen the crystal being move. His lights were flashing in rapid, worried patterns. "War Singer Velanash comes with the traditional fleet," Zixthran said. "He knows what has happened here. He will not allow the small human to continue teaching our people." "What does he want?" Jake asked. "To destroy anything that threatens our ancient ways. He believes your music corrupts our pure harmony." Down in the ship's cargo bay, Dr. Lisa Bennett held Amy close as the little girl played with several small crystal beings. These were young Kethfor, barely formed, who had come with Elder Zixthran. Amy had been teaching them simple songs all morning. "Twinkle, twinkle, little star," Amy sang, and the crystal children hummed along in perfect harmony. "How I wonder what you are." The young Kethfor glowed with soft, happy colors as they learned the Earth Song. Lisa watched in amazement as these alien beings experienced joy for the first time through her daughter's innocent voice. Suddenly, the ship shook violently. The crystal children's lights turned fearful blue and purple. Amy looked around with wide eyes. "Mommy, why is the ship bumpy?" She asked not before Lisa could answer. Harsh sounds filled the air. It was Kethfor music, but angry and violent. The noise hurt their ears and made the young crystal beings cry out in pain. On the bridge, Jake watched the lead warship break away from the fleet. It was huge and covered in weapon ports that glowed with threatening energy. "They're demanding we surrender the small human," Zixthran translated as the war songs filled the bridge. "War Singer Velanash says she is a disease that must be removed before it spreads." "Like hell," Jake muttered. He opened a channel to speak to all areas of his ship. "All hands, prepare for possible battle. Protect the civilians." The lead warship moved closer. Its weapons began to charge with bright, dangerous light. Jake knew the Starward Hope couldn't fight 12 warships. They needed a miracle. Ryan Carter had been working frantically at his station. "Captain, I think I have an idea. What if we used a communication array like we planned, but instead of just sending Amy's songs to their homeworld, we broadcast them to all the ships here?" "Will that work?" Jake asked Zixthran. "Perhaps," the alien elder replied. "But War Singer Velanash has closed his mind to new harmonies. His warriors follow his lead." The first energy blast from the warship missed them by only a few meters. Jake felt the heat through the ship's hull. "That was a warning shot," he said grimly in the cargo bay. The violent music from the warships was making the young Kethfor sick. Their lights flickered weakly as they huddled together in fear. Amy saw their distress and felt sad for her new friends. "Don't be scared, singing rocks," she said softly. "Bad music can't hurt you when good friends are here." She began to sing. Louder, her pure voice cutting through the harsh war songs. "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray." The young crystal beings began to glow brighter. Their fear started to fade as Amy's song filled them with courage and hope. But something unexpected happened. The cargo bay was full of broken Kethfor crystals from Elder Zixthran's damaged ship. As Amy sang, these shattered pieces began to vibrate. Slowly, cracks started to heal. The broken crystals were putting themselves back together, Lisa watched in shock as the damaged alien technology repaired itself through her daughter's song. Amy didn't even notice. She was too busy comforting her frightened friends. On the bridge, war singer Velenash's ship fired again. This time, the blast hit their shields directly. Sparks flew from control panels as the ship's defenses weakened. "Shields down to 60%, Ryan reported. "Elder Zixthron, can you contact your people?" Jake asked. "Tell them about what Amy's songs can do?" "War singer Velenash will not listen," the alien replied sadly. "He sees only corruption and weakness." Another blast hit them. The lights flickered as power systems struggled to keep working. "Captain," came Lisa's voice over the communication system, "you need to see what's happening in the cargo bay." Jake looked at Ryan. "Take the bridge. I'll be right back." He ran through the corridors to the cargo bay, where he found an incredible sight. The broken Kethver crystals were not only repaired, but they were glowing with new life. Amy sat in the middle of them, still singing, while the young crystal beings danced around her in joy. "How is this possible?" Jake whispered. "Amy's song doesn't just teach harmony," Lisa said with wonder in her voice. "It heals. She's fixing their broken crystals just by singing to them." Jake realized this changed everything. If Amy could heal Kethver technology and teach their young ones to feel joy, she wasn't a threat to their civilization. She was exactly what they needed. He ran back to the bridge just as another blast rocked the ship. "Shields down to 30%, Ryan called out. "Zixthron, can your people see what's happening in our cargo bay?" Jake asked. The alien elder's lights brightened. "Yes, I am transmitting images to all ships. They can see the small human healing our broken crystals and teaching our children." On the main screen, Jake watched the Kethver fleet slow down. Several ships stopped firing altogether. Their lights changed from angry red to confused yellow and green. "Some of my people are beginning to understand," Zixthran said hopefully. "But war singer Velenash grows more furious. He orders his loyal ships to destroy us all." 4 of the largest warships broke away from the fleet and began charging their main weapons. These were the traditionalists who would rather destroy Amy than let her change their world. "All power to shields," Jake ordered. "This is going to hurt." But as the 4 warships prepared to fire, something wonderful happened. The other 8 ships in the fleet moved between them and the Starward Hope. Elder Zixthron's people had chosen to protect the little girl who had brought them joy and healing. The Harmony War had begun, with Amy's innocent song as the dividing line between 2 different futures for the Kethver people. Dr. Lisa Bennett watched in amazement as her 3-year-old daughter sat cross-legged on the cargo bay floor, surrounded by crystal beings who glowed like living rainbows. Amy was teaching them a simple clapping game while singing softly. "If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands," Amy sang, and the young Kethver tried to copy her movements with their crystal appendages. The alien children made sounds like wind chimes laughing. It was the most beautiful thing Lisa had ever heard. These beings had never known happiness before meeting Amy, and now they were learning to play and giggle like human children. Elder Zixthron stood nearby, his tall crystal form pulsing with warm golden light. "Your offspring teaches us concepts we never imagined could exist," he told Lisa. "Wonder, joy, the desire to protect something precious." Outside the ship, the space battle continued to rage. Through the small window, Lisa could see bright flashes as Kethver ships fired at each other. The traditionalist forces led by war singer Velenash fought desperately against the progressive faction that wanted to protect Amy. On the bridge, Captain Jake Morrison studied the tactical display with Lieutenant Ryan Carter. 8 Kethver ships defended them against 4 traditionalist warships, but the attackers were stronger and better armed. The defending ships are taking heavy damage, Ryan reported. They can't hold out much longer. Jake felt helpless. The Starward Hope had some weapons, but nothing that could make a real difference in this battle between massive alien warships. "Captain," came Commander Kate Sullivan's voice from the communication station. She had finally arrived with the human rescue fleet 3 hours ago, but her ships were too far away to help. "We're still 12 hours out. Can you hold on that long?" "We'll have to," Jake replied, though he wasn't sure how. Elder Zixtran spoke up from his position near the main screen. "Warsinger Valanash grows desperate. He knows that every moment your small human continues to exist, more of our people will see the truth. He will try something dangerous soon." As if responding to his words, the 4 traditionalist ships suddenly changed their formation. Instead of fighting the other Kethver vessels, they turned all their weapons toward the Starward Hope. "They're going to try to destroy us all at once," Ryan said with worry in his voice. Jake opened a channel to the entire ship. "All hands, brace for impact. Find something solid to hold on to." In the cargo bay, Amy looked up from her game with concern. "Mommy, why does everyone sound scared?" Lisa knelt down and hugged her daughter. "Some of the singing rocks are having an argument, sweetie, but it will be okay." "Are they fighting because of me?" Amy asked with wide, innocent eyes. Lisa didn't know how to answer that question. In a way, the battle was about Amy, but it wasn't her fault. She was just a little girl who liked to sing. Sometimes grown-ups fight about things they don't understand. Lisa said carefully, "But you haven't done anything wrong." One of the young Kethvar, barely the size of Amy's toy box, moved closer to them. Its light pulsed with worry. "Small singing friend safe?" It asked in a tiny voice, like distant music. "Yes, little crystal friend," Amy said, patting its smooth surface gently. "We're all safe together." The battle outside grew more intense. Warsinger Valanash ships fired everything they had at the defending vessels. 2 of the Progressive Kethver ships were badly damaged and began to drift helplessly in space. On the bridge, Jake watched the tactical display with growing fear. The defending ships are falling back. "They can't protect us anymore." Elder Zixthron's lights flickered with sadness. "My people fight against each other because of what your small human has shown us. Perhaps it would be better if we had never met." "Don't say that," Jake replied firmly. "Amy has given your people something beautiful. That's worth fighting for." The first energy blast from Warsinger Valanash's flagship hit their shields directly. The ship shook violently, and the lights went out for several seconds. "Shields down to 20%. Ryan called out as emergency power came back online. In the cargo bay, the violent shaking knocked Amy and the crystal children to the floor. One of the young Kethver made a sound of pain as a crack appeared. In its surface, Amy saw her friend was hurt and immediately crawled over to it. "Oh no, little singing rock. Did you get an OE?" She began to sing softly, the same lullaby her mother had taught her. "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray." As her voice filled the cargo bay, something incredible happened. The crack in the young Kethver began to heal, just like with the broken crystals before. But this time, Amy's song did something more. The healed crystal child began to glow brighter than any of the others. Its light spread to the next young Kethver, then to the next, until all the alien children were connected by streams of golden light. Lisa watched in wonder as the connected crystal beings began to sing together. Their combined voices joined with Amy's simple song, creating harmonies that seemed to make the air itself shimmer with color. The music was so pure and beautiful that it traveled through the ship's hull and out into space. The warring Kethver fleets suddenly stopped fighting as the incredible sound reached them. On Warsinger Valanash's flagship, the traditionalist leader felt something he had never experienced before. The combined song of human child and crystal children touched a part of his consciousness that had been sleeping for thousands of years. What is this feeling? He whispered to himself as tears of liquid crystal began to flow from his eyes. Elder Zixthron felt the change immediately. The song reaches even war singer Velinash, he said with amazement. Your small human and our children together create something more powerful than either could alone. The space battle had completely stopped. All 12 Kethver ships hung motionless. As their crews listened to the impossible harmony flowing from the human vessel, Amy continued to sing, unaware that her voice was changing the course of an entire civilization. She only knew that her crystal friends were happy, and that made her happy too. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you, she sang sweetly. Please don't take my sunshine away. On his warship, warsinger Velinash fell to his knees as the emotion called love filled his crystal heart for the first time. He finally understood what the progressives had been trying to tell him. The small human wasn't corrupting their people. She was completing them. The traditionalist leader opened a communication channel to all ships. When he spoke, his voice was no longer harsh and angry. It was soft with wonder. Cease all hostilities, he commanded. The small human has shown us what we have been missing all our lives. 3 days later, the cargo bay of the Starward Hope had been transformed into something magical. Crystal gardens grew from the floor, walls, and ceiling, all glowing with soft, warm light. Amy Bennett sat in the center of it all, now 4 years. Old as of yesterday, teaching a group of young Kethver how to sing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, Amy sang with pure joy. And dozens of crystal children joined in with their wind chime voices. Captain Jake Morrison stood at the entrance, watching the scene with a smile. War singer Velinash knelt. Nearby, his massive crystal form gentle and patient, as Amy tried to teach him how to play patty cake. Your hands are too big, Mr. Vel, Amy said with a giggle. But that's okay. You're learning. The former war leader's lights pulsed with what Jake now recognized as happiness. 3 days ago, this same being had been trying to destroy them all. Now he was learning children's games from a 4-year-old human girl. Dr. Lisa Bennett approached. Jake, carrying a datapad with the latest reports. The Kethver Council has approved the Harmony Accords, she said quietly. Every ship in their fleet will carry recordings of Amy's songs back to their homeworld. What about the traditionalists? Who still oppose this? Jake asked. Even they're starting to change, Lisa replied, gesturing toward Velinash. Amy has a way of showing people what really matters. Elder Zixthron walked over to join their conversation. His crystal body now showed streaks of gold and silver that hadn't been there before, signs of the emotional growth he had experienced. The small human has given us more than music, he said softly. She has taught us that strength comes not from rigid tradition, but from the ability to grow and change. Amy looked up from her game with Velinash and waved at the adults. Look, everybody. Mr. Vel learned how to clap. He's really good at it now. War singer Velinash's deep voice rumbled like distant thunder, but it was filled with warmth. The small teacher is very patient with this old warrior. Jake shook his head in amazement. If someone had told him a week ago that he would be watching an alien war leader play children's games, he would have thought they were crazy. But Amy had a gift for seeing past differences and finding the good in everyone. Lieutenant Ryan Carter's voice came over the communication system. Captain, Commander Sullivan's fleet has arrived. They're requesting permission to dock. Tell them to come aboard, Jake replied. It's time for the signing ceremony. An hour later, the main conference room was filled with humans and Kethvar alike. Commander Kate Sullivan had brought diplomats and scientists from Earth, while the Kethver delegation included representatives from both the progressive and traditionalist factions. Amy sat between her mother, an elder Zixthron, swinging her legs from the adult-sized chair. She was wearing her favorite dress, the one with little rockets printed on it, and she had insisted on bringing her toy spaceship to the important meeting. "We are gathered here today to sign the Harmony Accords," announced Ambassador Robert Chun, the lead human diplomat. "These agreements will establish peaceful relations between humanity and the Kethver Empire, based on cultural exchange and mutual understanding." War singer Valanash stood to address the gathering. His voice was no longer the harsh sound of battle, but something musical and warm. "For 10,000 years, my people believed that strength came from isolation and unchanging tradition," he began. "We thought that outside influences would weaken us and corrupt our pure harmony. We were wrong." He turned to look at Amy, who was quietly making her toy spaceship fly in small circles above the table. A small human child, with nothing but innocence and joy, has shown us that true harmony comes from sharing, not hiding. She has taught us that our strength grows when we open our hearts to new experiences and new friends. Amy looked up when she heard her name mentioned. "Are we having a party?" she asked hopefully. Everyone in the room laughed, the sound mixing human voices with Kethver wind chime music in perfect harmony. "Yes, little one," Elder Zixthrin replied. "We are celebrating the beginning of a new friendship between our peoples." The signing ceremony was simple but meaningful. Human and Kethver leaders put their signatures and harmonic seals on the agreement that would change both civilizations forever. When it was finished, Amy raised her hand like she was in school. "Can I say something?" Ambassador Chun smiled. "Of course, Amy. You're the most important person here." Amy stood up on her chair so everyone could see her. "I just want to say that I really like my singing rock friends. They're different from people, but that's okay, because different can be really cool. And they taught me that music sounds even better when everyone sings together." She paused and looked around the room with her bright, innocent eyes. "I hope we can all be friends forever and ever, and sing lots of songs. And maybe the singing rocks can come visit Earth sometime. I want to show them my swing set and my sandbox." The room erupted in applause and harmonious humming. "War singer?" Valanash's lights flickered with what Jake now knew was the Kethver equivalent of crying happy tears. 3 months later, Jake stood on the observation deck of the new Joint Human Kethver research station orbiting Earth's moon. Through the large windows, he could see ships from both civilizations working together to build something unprecedented, a place where two species could learn from each other. Amy ran past him, chasing a small crystal being about her size through the corridors. Both children were laughing as they played an elaborate game of tag that involved singing different notes. "Amy, don't run in the hallways," Lisa called after her daughter, but she was smiling as she said it. The little girl slowed down but kept singing with her alien friend. Her voice carried through the station, bringing smiles to human and Kethver faces alike. Jake thought about everything that had happened since that first contact in deep space. A scared little girl humming a simple song had prevented a war and brought two civilizations together. It reminded him that sometimes the most powerful forces in the universe were also the most innocent. Amy's laughter echoed through the corridors as she played with children from another world, proving that friendship really was a universal language. The future was full of possibilities, and it all started with a little girl who just wanted to share her sunshine with everyone she met. In the distance, Earth shone blue and green against the black of space, while crystal ships moved gracefully between the stars, carrying songs of hope and harmony to every corner of the galaxy.